All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Sports Esports Podcast. I'm your host, William, and today we had a pretty, or I guess this week we had a pretty good week. We went 11-5 and or 11-3. Wow, I can't even read. And much better than last week, 7-7. We're right back on track. We are up to 50. I don't know why I'm putting green. I'm the only one here, but 53-25 on the year. Which, oops, that's not how you do math, William. 53 divided by 78. That's a 68% win rate. That's trying to keep it up to 70, but sometimes it's a little hard. I want to have at least a minimum of 66% win pick rate in all my leagues this year. But let's get right into the games. This week I won't be able to do the match history for the LPL only because last time I did that it kept trying to give me a Trojan on the website. And luckily my malware blocked it. Or not my malware, my malware bytes blocked it. And so I don't want to use the Chinese website again. We're just going to use the Gamepedia right here. So it should help, but if I'm a little slower with trying to read all of the match history and explain what I'm trying to say, it's because I haven't used this before. So it's new. All right. Day number one, game number one, or series number one, was Billy Billy versus Vici Gaming. The first game went over to Billy, and it was 15-8, and it was kind of close. I'm sad they don't have the gold graph on here. If I open this up, what will this do? No, that's the same website. Don't want to go there. Well, we don't have the gold graph itself, but Billy finished the game 10k ahead. They took a Baron. They had 4 dragons, 11 turrets, 0-0-0. So you can, if you watched League of Legends before, you can take a guess that Billy was winning this entire game. Meteor was awesome on the 2-1-12 on the Jarvan. He was getting a ton of plays down. Kuro on LeBlanc was 7-3-4, and he was really. Jay did not have a good game. Puff and Southwind had a really bad series overall. Jinzhao had a great 4-1-4 Ezreal, and the Ezreal Tom Kench really bullied the Varus Alistair, which you really didn't expect early game. And this is back on previously on 9.2, because up until Friday, 9.2 was still in this patch, so we still had Urgot, and it wasn't Troll. And that went 3-2-1. Next, I don't know why that says you. Start time of the match. Okay, oh, interesting. Anyway, game number 2, Billy was on the red side versus Vici Gaming, and Vici Gaming just did not. They didn't look very good in this series altogether. Usually, Vici Gaming looks pretty good and pretty competitive in a series where they at least take one game and they always seem to choke in game 3. This wasn't one of those series. They didn't take a single tower all series. They only had one objective total, which was 1 dragon in game 2. But Puff actually looked okay in this game. He went 4-4-2. I think he did get caught out towards the Baron at the end, but I mean, what can you do? He's trying to make plays. Where Jay had another bad performance on the Rise. They kind of almost went back to their original team comp with the Rise and the Jarvan. No, they didn't have Jarvan last game. I'm trolling. Never mind. That was Meteor on Jarvan. However, we had ADD on the Kled, which is always exciting to see. Big fan of Kled. Meteor popped off. He had a great, phenomenal series by Meteor. 509. Kuro as well popped off on the Akali, and this is before the Akali guts because that's how far back LPL was until Friday. And Jinzhao and Mini, again, they gave him Ezreal Tom Kench. This is a disgusting duo. It's so safe for Ezreal. And you can make so many map plays with a teleport on Ezreal and Tom Kench ult and Tom Kench cleanse to keep Ezreal safe as well. It's disgusting. This duo is one of the best duos you can get right now in the bot lane, and they showed it this game as they completely wiped out Vici Gaming. I'll try to go a little faster because I know we go a little long sometimes on these match histories. Game number 1 of this game went over to Snake Esports for this is series number 2, and Snake dominated this game. It was 15-12, 9-4 in towers, 2-3 on dragons. Actually, Team WE had more dragons. Team WE G went 5-2-1. I'm loving the Corki with the new Corki skin. I want to become a Corki main. I might play some tonight after this because I just love the champ. Azura though hard carried 9-0-5. Tristana just absolutely popped off, and you never ever want to go against the super fed Tristana like that. Game number 2, Team WE took and made it a best of 3, so it was 1-1. This was just an all-around I just said it, Jai. G. Oh my god. I just said the same thing last time. That's like deja vu. G won this hard with the Corki again, just like previously. He was carrying hard in the first game, wasn't able to take the win. However, he was able to get the win in game number 2. Corki was just phenomenal in both games. Mala had a back-to-back very poor performances on the Lissandra, and Azura was able to be kept in check with the Ezreal this time instead of the Tristana. Pose also was awesome with split pushing on the Fiora, just constantly being a nuisance and keeping Flandre out of fights. And Flandre, as I think personally, the best player on Snake, it's very good to keep him out of fights because the rest of the team isn't as strong and you can overpower them. Game number 3 went to Team WE, and because of that, they were able to move on, and I think they still have a shot at the playoffs. I don't think it's a good shot, but they have a shot, and at this point, I'm calling Snake dead in the water. Like, they are dead on arrival, I should say. But I don't think they are going to the playoffs this year. I think even though they have Flandre, and he's had a pretty decent year, I don't think it's been enough for this team. They have too many issues all around as a whole. And Flandre had a good game on the rise, 4-3-7. Pose, though, was phenomenal on Urgot. Mystic went 8-1-6. Lissandra, every game this series, did not do good. 1-5-10. And this was on Snake, 0-3-2, and then back on Snake again, 2-4-8. Lissandra did not look good at all this series. Both of these teams did not play effectively, and they always had to constantly use self-ult because they were just not in the correct position. Day 2, I'll go quickly. I'll try to go a little quicker. Sinu Dragon versus OMG. Sinu Dragon absolutely crushed this entire series. We'll just open up the whole series. This game was a little bit closer. This game was much bigger blowout. They only had 2 towers and a dragon, 6 kills. Sinu Dragon just dominated. Zhao Peng was popping off on the Kindred in both games. Twila showing a very good Cassiopeia in game 1. Not so much in game 2. Not so much. But Gala was able to pick up the slack for him. They ran it back. They literally ran the team comp back, and that is unforgivable by OMG's coaching staff. If you lose a game pretty badly, to be honest, they lost by 11k at 32 minutes and just kind of got crushed. You don't give the other team their team back. If I would at least ban the Kindred because Zhao Peng was being so effective against best 16. It made his Riven completely inefficient. Not only that, they also ran the Riven back, which it performed much better in game 2, to be fair, so I will give them credit on there. But they ran Cheli and 5 back on the Lucian and Galio, which it actually worked pretty well in game 1, but did not work at all in game 2. I don't like running back when you get blown out. You got to make some adjustments, in my opinion. And outside of 2 Ale on Kindred instead of Urgot and Icon on Akali instead of Victor, the whole game was ran back. I don't like that, and that's why I personally think OMG is one of the bottom teams. I don't think they're a very strong team at all. Series number 3, we have Sunning versus LGD. LGD, I was thinking maybe would be strong. They only had 1 win, and they came out swinging in this game, and they took game number 1 with Lies on Urgot again, and Ian on Vlad, and Kramer. This is the first game of the year, I would say. This might not be factually correct. This is first game of the year that I would say Kramer didn't carry Team WE, or not Team WE, sorry, LGD. And they, I don't know what Sunning's doing. Keep constantly putting in Angel and Weiwei. I don't like it. Especially Weiwei. No offense to Weiwei. I think Hacker is way better. And personally, like we can spoil alert. Go to game number 2. They put in Hacker. He gets the job done. He 2 and 4, and you're like, oh, he went 2 and 5. But look at the assists. He went 16 assists, and he only had 4. And then you had Angel, and then you had Maple here go pop off on the Akali, go 4 0 and 10. And of course, you had just all around. This was just a much better game in general for Sunning versus LGD. It was a close game, though. It was a very close game. Lies and Condi and Ian. Condi didn't have a good game, but Lies and Ian had another phenomenal game. Kramer struggled this series, really, to be honest. He actually was like, the man needs a break, though. I can't flame the guy. He's doing his best on this team. In game number 3, sadly, LGD lost to Sunning. Like, Lies picked the Kled, it didn't work. Zhao Ale was able to get ahead on the Urgot, 4-1 and 9. Again, this is 9.2 still, so it wasn't Troll. Then you had Hacker. Is this day one? Yeah, why do we have so many games? We had Hacker again on the Jarvan. They played Jarvan all three games with two different junglers. He popped off though with 15 assists. Maple had another phenomenal game. Ian was also good, but he went 5-3 and 3. He wasn't able to cover Maple's roams, which were able to get Maple ahead, and Maple eventually was able to take over this game. And Smiles actually did pretty good to it too. SMLZ did pretty well, good as well, I should say. Day 2. Okay, so it does the first 2 days. That's what it is. I'm learning this whole thing. So we have day 3. Day 4, do they not show? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay, so yeah. Day 4 is Thursday. So for some reason they just keep it blank. That's funny. Okay. Anyway, Royal Never Give Up versus Fun Plus Phoenix. What a great series. Started out 1-0 for Fun Plus Phoenix. And I was a little worried because they looked really solid. You had Uzi carrying on the Kaisa. He was doing really well. Xiaohu had an okay Zoe game at 3-3 and 5. Amazing J looked very poor on the Poppy, to be honest. And he definitely seems like the weak link of RNG. Karsa looked okay on there, but TN was just popping off on the Lee Sin. He was everywhere you need to be. Gimgoon was 6-0 and 5 on the Vlad. Definitely not what you want to deal with. Doinby was 0-2 and 11 on the Rise, but he built his classic Royal Eyes Righteous Glory, which I saw in EU someone picking it up. I don't remember who exactly, but they weren't doing it correctly. I think this is an excellent pick for when you're behind on Rise and you're trying to be a CC, like just a straight CC bot, where you're going to make sure that you catch, or not when you're behind. I apologize. I like this when you're kind of ahead. He had 11 assists. I like it when you're ahead. He was ahead of his mid laner, but when you're split pushing, because no one's escaping you. You're stunning him. You're slowing them. You're catching up to him. If they've used flash, you can use Righteous Glory to get back up to them, and you just constantly keep them stun locked until your teammates can come to help. This is on a split push. I don't like it as much in the team fighting sense because it doesn't give the amount of burst that you want Rise to bring to team fighting. But if you're going to play split push, I think this is an excellent build. If you're ahead, if you're behind, I don't know, because you're not going to be able to make the aggressive plays to slow them down constantly. LWX is 5-1 and 8. He had an excellent game on the Varus, and Crisp also was protecting him with that Tahm Kench. Game number 2 went to Royal Never Give Up. This was a very close game, obviously. You could tell it was a 4K lead. That's nothing for an end of game. Amazing J, he went 1-0 and 7. He improved on the Poppy, but this game was all about Uzi on the Vayne, Xiaohu on the Lissandra, and Karsa on the Kazakhs. That was just absolutely... Ming on Morgana, too. He was landing bindings left and right. It was fantastic to watch. Sadly, LWX did not have a good game. Doinby was making some things work on the Corki for a bit. Gimgoon kind of was just waiting to scale. Really didn't get to that point because it was only a 30-minute game, and that's what happens on Gangplank. If your team can't hold the line for you, you're not going to do much. In TN, sadly, he did not have nearly as good a game as he had in the first game on the Lee Sin. Game number 3 was Royal Never Give Up 1 again. Another very early game. Look at how this one was 30. This was a very quick series. It was a good series, but it was quick. 33 minutes for the first game, 29:55 for the second, and 30:36 for the next. And this game, Karsa takes the Lee Sin away. Amazing J takes the Gangplank away. Uzi takes the Kaisa away. Ming took Alistair away. They basically all they didn't change. They didn't take the Corki. They took Syndra instead. Xiaohu popped off on the Syndra this game. He was amazing. He absolutely just destroyed Doinby, who was on the Sion mid, which I did not agree with that pick at all. If you're gonna pick Sion, throw it over Gimgoon up top. Make Doinby this is a game against RNG. It's 1-1. Put him on a carry, man. Don't do that. I didn't like that decision at all by Fun Plus Phoenix. I liked it personally a bit because of my Royal Never Give Up pick, but for selfish reasons. But outside of that, I don't know, what is this ad? It's so weird. But yeah, for selfish reasons, I liked it because it helped my pick. But sadly, I think Royal Never Give Up was gifted this win by putting Doinby on the Sion. And yeah, this was Uzi was playing phenomenal, but Xiaohu definitely was the reason they won that game. I just found it funny that they literally took 4 of FunPlus's Phoenix picks from the last game and they brought it back on like, this is how you play this comp. Next was a game right after that game. You didn't even have to pay attention. This game was over in a heartbeat. Victory 5 is a very good team. They're a very solid team. Didn't look like that against Invictus. Invictus was toying with their food. They could have ended this game almost pre-20 minutes, probably. This was a 13k gold lead, as you can tell, by 24 minutes. Just disgusting. Just they dominated the whole way through. And game number 2 wasn't much better. 26 minutes. I would have said this game they couldn't have ended by 20 minutes, but they still ended the second they got Baron. And Invictus Gaming just stomped all over Victory 5, which is kind of sad to see because Victory 5, they're fighting for a playoff spot right now, and they did not look good at all. And frankly, IG looks dominant, but I do think IG's on another level than Victory 5 is. Well, that's not good. Let's go to scoreboard. Okay, so scoreboards. There's nothing here. That's sad. Okay, let's go to 2019 season. We'll try and go on the fly here, or we'll just bring it up on Google if we can't get anything. Media, quick pick, band, scoreboard, match history. Okay, we'll bring it here. We'll just go very quickly through these next games. Where did we end? We ended on. Oh, is that really the last time they updated this? It is. Jeez. Oh, okay. So we'll just go to Google and we'll just do brief. Oh no, LPL schedule. Alright, that's right. Next, we had LGD. No, this would have been Top versus Vici. Top just steamrolled over Vici. It was like nothing. We don't need too much to talk about that. Top had a phenomenal week. LGD, shockingly, beat EDG. And this, my crackpot theory from week number 3, that EDG is going to miss the playoffs. And last week, if you recall, if you were watching, I was kind of eating crow a bit and being like, maybe I was a little too overzealous to make that prediction. That lifeblood is back in me. Like that fire from me saying that EDG's not going to make the playoffs. Losing 2-0 to LGD. Only Invictus Gaming has done that, which, I mean, that sounds weird. But LGD has stomped Invictus Gaming. They beat them 2-0. And now EDG. That's their only 2 wins on the year. But they stomped EDG. And EDG really, really needed this win, as I'll do in a segment later today. This was a very easy game that they should have picked up that they're going to need. And I'm thinking there's probably over a 50% chance that EDG does not make playoffs. It does not look good for them. I'll bring it up a little bit later. Saturday, sorry. JDG actually crushed Sino Dragon. Not really. I won't say they crushed. Sino Dragon was leading these games, both of them, and they threw them pretty bad. You can see the inexperience on the team. Even though we're in week 7, they're still almost all rookies, or are they all rookies? I actually don't know, but they're very young, and they had the lead in both these games, and they choked it away both times. It was very sad to watch. They just kind of got out macroed a bit, and definitely around the Baron they got outplayed, and they need to shore that up if they want to make a playoff run by the end of the year. I think they can still do that. I think they have enough raw talent there, and they're very young, and they can adapt. They've adapted well over the year to improve. They've even taken down Top Esports, which I think is very impressive, and they're definitely. I think they're going to be a playoff team. I think they'll be okay. I think they'll be able to go back to the VOD, see where they made the mistakes, and try to not repeat them again. Victory 5, they crushed Rogue Warriors 2-0. This was nothing. It wasn't a... I mean, I can't say it was nothing, but Rogue Warriors, they're also very young like Sino Dragon, but they don't have as much raw talent on the team, and they're more into the developing stage at the moment. For Victory 5, especially after their embarrassing loss against IG previously, they needed this win. Like, they really needed this because they are also fighting for a playoffs spot, and they could not afford to drop this game against Rogue Warriors. Next, we had Billy Billy versus Sun Gaming. This was kind of the first test for Billy Billy. Billy Billy's they're 7-2. Like, you gotta admit, they're 7-2. They have a very, very, very tough schedule ahead of them coming up. I'll talk about that as well. But they've won most of the games that they should have. They lost the game to OMG, which is pretty bad. I believe they lost the other game to JDG. I don't know for a fact who is the other game that they lost to, but let's see. Let's pull it up super quick. They lost to OMG. I remember that one. Yeah, and JDG. I was right. Look at that. And yeah, but they lost both of those games. Probably JDG is acceptable. OMG is not acceptable. But 7-2 is they're still up there towards the very top of the standings, and frankly, they are in prime position to, even with the tough schedule at the end, to still be in the playoffs and be a formidable team. I think that's good for them. Where Sunning, on the other hand, built this powerhouse team. I think they're out of the playoffs, frankly. Again, I'm whole segment about this coming up. Hinting at it a lot, but just whole segment. Today we had Top Esports versus Fun Plus Phoenix, a phenomenal game, a phenomenal series. Went 2-1 and went to top. I was sad because I thought Fun Plus Phoenix was going to really win this one, but frankly, Top Esports were just slightly better today, and Knight was better than Doinby. Doinby had a pretty good week, but I mean, Loken was the true X factor that I wasn't expecting. Loken has not always been the best. He's been good. He's been really good. I think almost every ADC in the LPL is really good. But he's definitely been behind Knight when it comes to carries. And Knight has been the one really being the head of the team, absolutely just destroying the rest of the league, where Loken kind of has been playing average against the other ADCs and being able to not feed and help Knight carry them to victory in most games. But he definitely was a side character. Today was a complete main character, and he really showed LWX, which Fun Plus Phoenix was also putting a lot of resources into LWX because you had Doinby and Knight button heads like that. They're both two of the best mid laners in the entire world, frankly, not just the LPL, the entire world. And because of that, neither one was able to get a ton of big advantages over that, so they had to rely on their side cast. Next, we had Invictus versus Team WE. Invictus Gaming looking great this year. They actually, second game, Team WE was in it for quite a while. First game, Invictus Gaming was crushing it again, just like they did against Victory 5. Second game, though, Team WE was holding in there. Sadly, they just threw one too many big team fights, and Invictus Gaming, who are known to be one of the greatest team fighting, just chaos teams in the world. Obviously, they're defending world champions. And, yeah, they just were able to overcome Team WE's efforts, and I mean, it was a good effort by Team WE, but they still went 2-0, which is frustrating because they are also one of the teams in the playoff spot, so this would have been a nice upset win for them, but they couldn't get it. And then RNG just absolutely destroyed Snake. Snake is out of the playoffs after this week. I don't think they have a shot anymore, and I won't even put them on the radar for playoff team. They just gotta kind of look to improve. Like the next few weeks, play spoiler and just focus on improving yourself. And just really, it kind of sucks. I know. It always is deflating when you are out of the playoffs after they had a very promising first few weeks, I think first 2 weeks, and since then it's not been well, not been good. Okay, after that, let's go on to our players of the week. First off, we have tops Billy Billy. Our top laner of the week is Billy Billy, ADD. He had a KDA of 14.7, damage percentage of 22.9, DPM of 509, and his best game was 6-1 and 13 on Poppy versus Sunning Gaming. It was a phenomenal Poppy game. It was one of the best Poppy carries I've seen in a long time. You don't really see tanks be able to carry as hard as that right now, except for Sion. But man, it was a great performance. Jungler of the week was Sion Dragon's Xiaopeng. He had a KD of 3.2, damage percentage of 25.1, DPM of 494. Best game was 11, 5, and 10 on the Kindred versus OMG. I wish he would have had a little bit of a better series against who the heck did they lose to? JDG. He started out that series fantastic. He had a lot of early ganks go right, but I think his calls around the I don't know if it's his calls to be fair, but his jungling around the Baron and getting picked off at the Baron was a slight problem. His stats were enough to still be player of the week, but I really was thinking about it because I did remember the 2 throws against JDG that he kind of caused after he started the snowball. That's what he started it, but then he kind of gave it away at the same time. Good player though, and I hope to see a lot more of him. Mid laner of the week is Invictus Gaming's Rookie. He had KD of 10.3, CS per minute of 7.3. I guess that's not that good. I don't know why I put that in there for impressive notes. Damage percentage though of 33% and DPM of 952. I wanted to give this tonight, but the damage per minute of 952 by Rookie is insane. His best game was LeBlanc 10-2 and 17 against Victory 5. Like 952 damage per minute is a really high stat for a mid laner, considering you don't do much damage early. But Knightwood is definitely second place for that, and you can argue first place, and I would not disagree with you. ADC of the week was Top's Loken. I talked about it before. Loken definitely stepped up this week, and that was amazing for Top. KDA of 24, CSM of 11.5, damage percentage of 26.1, DPM of 496, gold per minute of 508, and his best game was a 609 against Vici Gaming. Supporter of the week was Invictus Gaming's Balan, and he had a KDA of 5.4, an average assist of 16.5, and his best game was 2-3 and 21 on the Gragas vs. Victory 5. That was a disgusting Gragas game. I don't usually like Gragas support. He made me like Gragas support at least for one game. That was fantastic by him. And since we don't have play of the week, I'm going to talk playoffs, which is what I was talking about, what we were going to lead into a little bit. My crackpot theory that EDG will miss the playoffs this year. Let's pull this up. So first off, let's go here. Let's go to LPL standings. I think Top Esports at number 1 they're a lock. I think Fun Plus Phoenix, a lock, 8-2. I don't have Billy as a lock because of how hard their schedule is coming up. I'll explain in a minute. I have Royal Never Give Up as a lock. They are looking amazing right now at 7-2, and I have Invictus Gaming as a lock at 8-3. I think these 4 teams are I would put them in the top 6 teams in the world, frankly. And 4 of these teams, I'd put Griffin number 1, Top number 2, SKT number 3 after this week. If you watched SKT versus Griffin, I would absolutely recommend watch. If you didn't watch it, absolutely watch the series. It's one of the best series of all time. Royal Never Give Up number 4. Invictus Gaming. Fun Plus Phoenix number 4. No, Royal Never Give Up number 4. I'd actually put Fun Plus Phoenix number 5, and Invictus Gaming number 6. Like I think they are all insanely good, and I'm so sad that they won't be at MSI as all of them, but it'll be an excellent playoff seeing those 4. And outside of those 4, you still have 4 more playoff spots. Billy at 7-2 have a very good chance to make it. You have JD Gaming, Edward Gaming, Sino Dragon, Sunning Gaming, Victory 5, and Team WE, all still in the chance. Currently, 5-5 is in the playoffs, so 1 game out. Even though this is 2.5 games out, I think that's too much. I don't like what I see from Snake, and I've kicked them out of the playoffs in my mind. And obviously, these ones are 3 or 4 games out, and that's too much as well, with only 5 or 6 games remaining. 6 games, I believe. So I would cut it off at Team WE. I think we have an 11-team race, and mostly a 7-team race for 1, 2, 3, 4. A 7-team race for 4 spots. So 3 people are going to be cut out. 3 teams. So what I want to bring up is that I said on week 3 that Edward Gaming, who's currently in 7th and would currently be in the playoffs, would not make the playoffs this year. So, to do that, let's start off first with Billy. Billy, who is currently 7-2, has 6 games left. Team WE should be a win against them, so they're 8 wins. Royal Never Give Up, probably a loss. This is a very close game here, and I personally have Billy winning this game. This is a very important game for both these teams, especially more so for Edward Gaming. But I have Billy winning this game, so that would put them at 9 wins. Lost to Fun Plus Phoenix, lost to Invictus, lost to Top. That's a very tough 5 last games of Royal Never Give, RNG, EDG, FPX, IG, Top. That's their last 5 games of the year. They've been kind of cruising, facing the weaker teams of the league. And their only real challenge so far was JD Gaming and Sino Dragon, I would say. And that was 2-0. They lost 2-0 and they won 2-1. So those are the two teams that they're 2-3 total against teams I would say that are in the playoffs. And that's not the best, but I think that they've built up a significant enough lead not getting upset like some of the other teams that frankly if they can beat Edward Gaming and Team WE, they're totally fine at a 9-7 or 9-6 year. That's a fantastic year for Billy. And I'll leave it at that. Next we have JD Gaming. So JD Gaming I have at here. They are currently where's their standings? Here they are. They're currently 6-3 and in sixth place. So they are the opposite of Billy. They have a pretty easy schedule. They've already gone through most of their hard games. VG Gaming should be a win. Sunning should be a win. Snake should be a win. Royal Never Go Up, probably a loss. LGD probably a win, and Team WE another win. Like these are all winnable games outside of this Royal Never Give Up. So I actually have JDG as an 11-4 team, which would cruise them well ahead of Billy and ahead of the 8th place. So I think Billy and JDG are totally fine here at 9-6 and 11-4 is what I see. So we're just going to completely get rid of them. I think that they're totally fine. We're just going to ignore them. So we're going to have the top 4, top Fun Plus Phoenix, Royal Never Give Up, Invictus 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll have JDG number 5 and Billy number 6. So we have the top 6 we're going to say are locked into the playoffs in this scenario. So that leaves us with Edward Gaming, Silent Dragon, Sunning Gaming, Victory 5, and Team WE. We have 5 teams, 2 spots. Who is going to lose? Who's going to take them? Who's going to lose? First off, let's go to Sunning Gaming. Sunning has a very tough schedule. They have, first off, Top Esports. Don't think they're going to win that. JDG, I said they're not going to win that one. Victory 5, this is a very close game. These two games, Victory 5 and Scion Dragon, I don't think they win either of these games, but if they do, that will put them up to only 7 wins, which might not be enough to make the playoffs, frankly. I have them personally losing to Victory 5 and Silent Dragon. I don't think Sunning's going to win a game for the rest of the year, and at the moment, I don't think that. If they take a win off JDG or Top Esports, I'll talk about it for these. But these are 2 important games for them, and frankly, they're gonna need to steal one of these games as well. Frankly, they're most likely this JDG game. Their life is on the line Saturday. If they don't, because you can't really count on the beat Top Esports, so this is the last loss they can take on the year. They have to win against JDG. If they don't, they're probably out of the playoffs, even if they take these 2 games. I have them at 5-11 though. I have them losing all 4 at the moment. This is just predictions at the moment. This doesn't mean my predictions like later on are gonna be this because things change, and that's how you have to adapt. Next, I have Scion Dragon, the rookies, new team. Fun Plus Phoenix they have on Sunday. Not gonna work. They have pretty much a break this week. They only play Sunday, so they're gone for the most. They can use this. Actually, they can use this whole week to practice about this JDG game that they had that they were throwing completely. I didn't like those throws, but they showed enough signs of life. I don't think it'll be enough against Fun Plus Phoenix, but frankly, we can just. This is good. This will be a good practice week. Let's just say that. Victory 5 against Scion Dragon. I think this is an insanely close game that I think Scion Dragon can win this one. I really do. I believe in this team. I think this is going to be a 50-50 game, though. I have Scion Dragon. It might be because of my bias more so, but I think this is a very close 50-50 powerful playoff game next week. And then Scion Dragon against LGD. That should be a win, loss, and like I said before, win. So we have I have 3 wins here for Scion Dragon. They are currently at 5-5. So I have them at 8 wins now, which would put them in my perfect world at 7th place. From what I'm getting at here. Sorry. Team WE, I'll try and make this a little quicker. I think this is going to be a loss, win, loss. So that's only 2 more wins for Team WE that I can see them winning, and that's 6-5. That will not be enough to make playoffs. So they will be eliminated at 6-9 on the year. Finally, we've already done Sandra. So Victory 5, I think, actually has the best position. They are currently 4-5, so they're on the outside looking in. However, their schedule is Snake, that should be a win. Team WE, that should be a win. They can win against Scion Dragon. I won't count it as a win because I count it for Scion Dragon to win. So that's 2 wins. Sun and Gaming should be a win. That's 3. This game right here. This game, Week 10, Monday, March 25th. Winner will go to the playoffs, in my opinion. And because we currently have them at 1, 2, 3 wins here. So 3 wins will move Victory 5 up to 7. They will be, at this moment, going into this game, they will be 7-6. And this will be the fight for 8th place, in my personal opinion. Both of these games are really important for the league. But to quickly move on, EDG, they're currently sitting in the playoffs at 5-4. Win against OMG, they definitely should. They lost to LGD and they've lost to other teams like Team WE and Snake that are losing to Team WE, Snake, and LGD. That's 3 games. You take those 3 games away and EDG comes back, they're totally fine on the year. They're they're 8-2. They're in top of the lead. You know, those are 3 very unacceptable losses that they've had this year. That they could be in the lead or tied for first place right now if they didn't have them. However, they did, and that's what the reality is. They can beat OMG. I think they can. Even though they've had other slip-ups, they can definitely beat OMG. Next loss that's Fun Plus Phoenix. That's probably going to be a loss. Billy, I think that's going to be a loss, though it's more winnable. I think this is a 60-40 where this is like an 80-20. Top Esports, that's a 90-10. You're going to lose. So we're at 1 good chance to win, 1 possible chance into this Victory 5. So what do we have them at? We have 1 real chance to win. So we have 6-4 after tomorrow. 6-5, 6-6, 6-7. What do we say Victory 5 was at this time? 7-6. 6-7 versus 7-6, both going for 8th place. This game right here, I think this is a 50-50 game. I'm going just because of my narrative of EDG missing the playoffs here, that they will lose this game, but it's going to be very close. They can definitely win it. They definitely can. And if they do, they then have the tiebreaker over Victory 5 going, and they'll be 7-7, while Victory 5 will be 7-7. And they're going to probably lose to Invictus, but Victory 5 also had Fun Plus Phoenix, so they're going to lose eventually, and then EDG would go to the playoffs off the tiebreaker. So that is the scenario, is this game right here. If they don't win this Victory 5 game, or if they slip up against OMG, the season's over. The season's over for EDG. So look forward to this game. I'm writing this one into the calendar, and it'll be fun to see. This is going to make or break my theory, basically, and that's why I wanted to bring up that it's not as crazy as it sounds. Like, if you see these remaining games, that was my whole point of this. It's very possible that EDG misses playoffs, which I think will be the first time ever. So, like, that is something I think we should definitely keep an eye on. With that, though, we will go over to our games of the week, our predictions. No, we won't. We didn't do power rankings yet. I'm sorry. Power rankings this week. We had top as number 1. That sounds great. That's where they belong at number 1. I think that winning against FPX and winning last week against RNG, definitely they deserve the first place. RNG did beat FPX, so I rose them up all the way up to number 2. It's amazing considering a few weeks ago I had RNG at number 10. They did not look good at all without EC. And they weren't playing to the meta at the time, which is now the current meta, absolutely is in their favor. FPX, after 2 losses this week, go down to number 3. They've had a great year, though, and they played mightily close. They were both went to game 3s against Top and RNG. I expect this team to still be in top 4 easily by the end of the year. No hard feelings on them losing both those games. IG number 4, they cleaned up. They just dropped. I had them a little higher, but Top and RNG beating Fun Plus Phoenix, which is more impressive. In Fun Plus Phoenix originally beat IG, I believe it was last week. Billy, they did solid. They're number 5. I think they're the best of the good teams remaining. They're not in the 4 elite that I would have, but they're still the best of the good teams, I'd say. JDG moved up from number 6 as they beat Scion Dragon. Scion Dragon actually moved up because even though they lost to JDG, they were able to win their first game, I believe, against OMG. Yeah, against OMG. And EDG losing their only game this week against LGD slides them from number 6 to number 8. Victory 5, they had a terrible game against Invictus Gaming, but they did come back and they did win against Rogue Warriors, which is not nearly impressive, but it's not that bad of a loss against Invictus Gaming because I think Invictus Gaming is on. If you lose to those top 4 teams, I don't I don't fault you as hard as I could, I guess, in my personal opinion. They're just a step above, and you win against them, you're going to go up a lot. But if you lose, you don't fall as much as I would put them. Sunning in number 10, I think is fair. They won a game finally. They hadn't won a game since week 2, so that was very good for them to see from them. I believe it was week 2 when their last win was. Next, we had Team WE at number 11. They had a pretty okay week, I believe. They did lose, but I think they mostly went. This is actually supposed to be. They didn't go up. They tied. They were 11 last week. LGD, I moved up to number 12 because they beat EDG. I had them at number 15. I think that just they're 2-8. They're 2-9. They've had a very bad year. They only have 4 games left on the entire year, and so the best they can do is 6-9. They won't make playoffs, but they have come away with a 2-0 against IG and a 2-0 against EDG, which could be spoilers. They could have been the spoiler to EDG just a few weeks ahead. So that I think they deserve. They've looked good against great teams, but they don't look good against the others, which is weird. Vici Gaming drop. Number 13, they're 2-7. Snake is 3-8. I don't think they're looked impressive at all though, since they won. I believe they're like 1-8 in their last 9 games, so that's why they're number 14. OMG, I think looks pretty bad, and Rogue Warriors is very young, very inexperienced, and they're definitely, in my opinion, the worst team in the LPL, currently at 2-8. And with that, we will finally move on to our predictions. First off, we have JDG versus Vici Gaming. So this is going to be a blowout, I think. I think JDG is starting to look much better than they looked previously in the previous weeks. I'm sad that I don't like Levi in the lineup, but I think they need to go flawless for the rest of the year until they clinch a playoff spot. Then I would start trying to get Levi in, try and get more experience. He plays well. They break down in communication towards the late game. And I think that if you can work on that, you can have 2 different junglers for the playoffs, and that's really good if one goes on tilt. But 2-0 JDG. OMG versus EDG, I said before that I think EDG should win this game. This is their last free win before a very tough final 5-game stretch for the rest of the year. And so they need this win. They lose this game to OMG, they might kiss playoffs goodbye before that victory 5 game that they have to play. This is a must-win for EDG. 2-0, though. I think they will do it. Team Billy versus Team WE. Billy, I think, would win this one 2-1. I think that Team WE is fighting for a playoff spot, so don't take them lightly. I think Mystic on the bot and Magic in the jungle. I think that they are pretty formidable opponents. I think that Meteor should be able to handle Magic fine, but I think Mystic will be able to steal a game by just him carrying, and I think that Billy will still win the series 2-1, but they need to win the series as well because they have a very tough schedule ahead. Top versus Sunning, I don't see it. I think Top is the second best team in the entire world. I think they're awesome. They're so good. They came off. That sounds so stupid. They're coming off a victory against Fun Plus Phoenix, and it's enough. There's a 2-day break or a 1-day break in between, so that victory hangover shouldn't be too bad, and they should be back on the track to defeat Sunning Gaming 2-0. Knight will be able to handle Maple totally fine. I like Maple, but it's just not going to happen. Victory 5 versus Snake. I think Victory 5 takes this one 2-1. I see Flandre sneaking a win for Snake in there. He's been down for a long time now, but I think that he'll be able to carry on either Aatrox or Jace. Let's go for Jace pick. Let's go bold. That his Jace game might be able to bring enough. Oh, I see. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see those. I saw the messages a little late. No Ray tonight. That is interesting. Against Ollie. I did not know that Ray was not playing tonight. I'm gonna stick with EDG. Hope. I don't like Hope starting for iBoy. I like iBoy much better. EDG has to win this game. I'm still gonna go. I'm gonna change it to a 2-1 with that information. Thank you. I'm gonna change it to a 2-1 instead of a 2-0. But they have to win this game. This game is super important for them. I think they'll still be able to pull it off. I think Scout will be able to carry enough. Royal Never Give Up versus Rogue Warriors. I gotta move this. This was blocking my chat. There we go. Sorry if I didn't see that in time. I don't know how long ago you sent it. Rogue Warriors versus Royal Never Give Up. I think this should be a very, very easy win for Royal Never Give Up. They can even bench Uzi and they'd still win this game. I think Royal Never Give Up, top 2 team, top 4 team in the world, and Rogue Warriors is bottom 4 team in the world possibly. No, I'd put them like bottom 10. But again, it should be a very 2-0. No issues there, I don't think. Fun Plus Phoenix against EDG. I think Fun Plus Phoenix will win this game. They're coming off a two-game losing streak. I hope they haven't lost yet, so we don't really know about their mental. But I think that Doinby will be able to handle and beat Scout, not just handle him and like keep him under control. I think he'll be flat out beat Scout because I think he's better than Scout this year, especially. And because of that, I think Scout is one of the biggest winning points for EDG. And with Clear Love, that can help. But I think Doinby in XX. Or is it? I think it's XX. I'm not. Is it XX? I'm totally blanking right now. FPX roster. I'm blanking on the spot. Team FPX 1 plus Phoenix. This is It's not. It's not Jinyi. That's not him. Am I crazy? Anyway. I think Fun Plus Phoenix will win this one. 2-0 even. Victory or Invictus Gaming versus Vici Gaming. I think we have Vici Gaming winning this game. No. Vici Gaming will win a game because it's TN. Thank you. I don't know. I couldn't think. I even talked about TN so much. I just brain fart. I knew it wasn't the one from the website, though. I knew that for sure. I was thinking XX, but that was XX's Top's jungler. They played today. But Vici Gaming versus Invictus Gaming. We have Invictus Gaming. They're going to lose a game here. This sounds crazy, but just think about it. Vici Gaming, they hold the line. They play really well. They've only had 2 series all year that they've lost they've lost a series in a sweep. They've had 1 win in most of their games. Invictus Gaming are a bunch of cocky bastards. They deserve it. Because they're amazing. They are so good at what they do. They're so good at team fighting, but they play with their food a lot. And I think it will cost them 1 game against VG Gaming. It won't cost them the series, but I love them bold prediction. It's a 2-1. I'm still picking Invictus. But yeah. Thank you for that, by the way, Bomber. So I still look stupid. Couldn't think of it. Next, we have Victory 5 versus Team WE. This is a must-win game for both these teams. This is kind of like the EDG versus Victory 5 from the last week of the season on March 23rd. But this will be a game that I think Victory 5 wins, and it will end Team WE's chances of making the playoffs. I think the Jinzhou up top, or Jinu, not Jinzhou, Jinu up top with the Riven will be too much for Team WE to handle. I think he's going to solo carry both of these games. I think it's going to be a 2-0. I really think Victory 5 is going to have I think they're a much better team than their record shows, if that makes sense. Speaking of bad game, Rogue Warriors, man. They get RNG in top esports this week. I feel sorry for them. This is just a week. Play your best, guys. Learn from the VODs. Improve your own play. Don't go in with high expectations. Top esports wins this 2-0. That's all I can say. JDG against Sunning Gaming I brought up earlier. I think JDG should be able to win this game against Sunning, but this is a must-win game for Sunning, however, because if they don't win this game, they're probably also out of the playoffs, which is insane to me. I was so hyped on this team at the beginning of the year. So hyped. I just don't see it. I love Sword Art. I've loved Sword Art for like 3 years now since I've started watching League. I love Sword Art. He's one of my favorite supports and favorite players. Maple I've always thought was very good on Flash Wolves, but he's struggled this year. I just want to see them play Hacker more. Weiwei is just not. I don't. I don't know why they play Weiwei so much personally. I really don't know. I think Hacker, when he was playing, they were winning games. Then they started rotating him with Weiwei because he got the flu back in week 3, and they've looked terrible since. I don't know what happened, if that flu was like a terrible disease that took over their brains over in Sunning, because they look like a completely different team since that loss to FunPlus Phoenix back in week 3. I don't think they'll beat JDG though. I think it'll be a 2-1 series. I think because they will be trying hard because their season is on the line, and that predicting in the final weeks is always tough. You got to predict for people. You got to figure out if a team's motivated to be the spoiler. You have to figure out if they're giving up. You have to figure out if teams are motivated to make the playoffs. Like, I know that sounds stupid, but like JDG is also trying to make the playoffs, you know? They're not sealed yet. So they really need to try as well, but they might be looking ahead at their schedule saying it's easy so that they don't not have to try as hard in this Sunning game. It's really hard to predict in my opinion. Next we have wrap this up. Sunday we have LGD versus OMG. Battle of the worst. I think I want to pick LGD, but I'm actually going to go OMG here. Only because I think LGD is the better team, personally. They've only showed up against Invictus game. No. I'm going LGD. They've looked much better in the previous leagues. 2-1. This is such a 50-50 thing, you know? I'm like picking... They're both spoilers, but they're not spoiling each other because they're both in last place. So... I go LGD 2-1. That's a 50-50. I can't predict that one. I can't give you much analysis on that. Go Kramer. Kramer had a pretty bad week last week, or at least bad first game. He had a pretty good game against EDG, but he had a bad first game last week. He'll recover though. He's had a great year for being on a 2-9 team. Fantastic year. I feel sorry for him. Next we have Royal Never Give Up versus Billy. Home arena for that one? Is it home arena for LGD or OMG? Oh yeah, Kramer is. I not only is it been 9.2 for like 7 years now on LPL, but he's had a very solid year. I feel like if he would be on a better team. I don't like being mean to players because they're so much better than me, you know? Like, I don't like being mean to players, but again, you have to analyze it from a professional standard. And LGD is not very... Condi's had his ups and downs. He's had some very good games, not some very not good games. But like outside of that, Kramer's really been carrying that team. Yeah, I think I'll go 2-1 LGD. Next, we have Royal Never Give Up versus Billy. I forgot I wasn't even writing these in my spreadsheet. I'll do that after the end of the podcast. Royal Never Give Up versus Billy. I think that Royal Never Give Up will win this game. I love Billy. Billy, this is gonna sound stupid. This is the first full year of watching LPL for me, and I've paid attention to the LPL. Like, I've watched the playoffs a bit over the past year and a half, but I never really like watched the regular season until this year. So I didn't really know about Billy, and their name makes me laugh, and I love the name personally, that they became like a pseudo favorite of mine in week 1, and to see them do so well makes me really happy. That's sad to say out loud, but it's true. And I think they've absolutely improved though, with Meteor being fantastic this year, and Kuro has been very good as well. Really, isn't Kuro from Freak Freaks? I think so. He was on Freak Freaks last year, right? Yeah, he was a great pickup, though. Absolutely great pickup. And they just put them at the best of the good teams, in my opinion. But that's not good enough to beat Royal Never Give Up. I think they're on a roll. You said, Bomber, you said 9.4 is a solid patch for Kramer. It is a OP patch for Uzi. Royal Never Give Up might go to MSI after a very poor first 1, 2, 3, even 3 weeks. They might definitely be the team to go to MSI. It'll be very interesting to see in the playoffs. And finally, we have FunPlus Phoenix versus Scion Dragon. I love Scion Dragon. I really do. I don't think it'll be enough for them against FunPlus Phoenix, though. I think that Doinb will be able to abuse Twilla. I think ban Twilla Zoe. I don't even know if you need to, though. Like, Doinb's just that much better. I think that almost every team needs to ban Twilla Zoe. I think that him and what's the JDG mid laner? Can't think of it at the fly. I'm not doing that again. But their Zoes are insane. and Xiaohu is it Xiaohu might be, but yeah, their Zoes are insane. I think that you can ban it to be safe against Ion Dragon, but you won't really need to. You have you have Doinby. You'll be fine. 2-0 FPX. Sorry, Ion Dragon. I love you. I still think you'll make playoffs. But with that, that's all of our predictions, and we're already into week 7. I want to thank you guys very much. I actually, on YouTube, I know it's not LPL. LPL usually provides the most views, or most consistent views of like 40 plus. But I had my first ever 50 plus video of LCK last week, so I'm really excited. And it's crazy to me because we did these last year. Yagao. I think you are right. Yeah, Yagao. I don't have. It's very tough with 54 teams. I've gotten a lot better with the LPL memorization. My next step is LMS. I'm pretty poor at memorizing the LMS at the moment, but yeah, I have all of Korea memorized. I have all of NA, all of EU, and like 75% of LPL, and only like 50% of LMS. If I'm being honest, I always have to refresh myself before the podcast. But I want to thank you guys for watching. Our first video our very first podcast got over 50 views, or we had our first 50 view podcast. And this is crazy because last year when I did this for just NA, we were only getting like 2-3 views of video. So that's kind of why I stopped towards the end of the year. But now I have a bunch of views and I'm very excited. It makes me happy. Thank you guys for watching. Follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/KingLeagueFan. We stream at 10 p.m. 10 p.m. It's usually like me at like 9:45. Like I gotta finish my predictions or my other stuff. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the NALCS, and have a good night.